here's your official document, you're a ghost now.
Why does this provoke people so much?
But they are not twerking themselves.
Yeah. But somebody wrote that, oh, these people, they are the product of incest.
They just didn't want to be hated on the one side for being ghosts from the outside world, and on the other hand for being cyber ghosts from like within the scene. So they were attacked from both sides, and then they kind of left. And
hi there. Before starting this video, I just wanted to say that there is another video connected to this one with less talking and more movements. Well, that's a good description. Check that out if you want. Now roll the interview. We are here in Berlin. It's January 2019, and that means this video is a little bit late. I promised during 2018 that I would make 6 interviews, and this is the sixth with, well, who are you?
hello, I'm Ciwana Black. I'm from Germany, and we are now in Berlin.
Yeah.
Best party city for me. Maybe not in the world.
And we have been filming some dancing today, because that's one of the things that you do.
Yes.
In real life and on the internet as well.
Exactly. That's what I do.
About 10 million people have seen you dancing on your YouTube channel, and more on the internet, I guess, as well. And you dance something called industrial dance.
Yes. I think you got the number maybe wrong. I think it's 4 million about.
Okay, 4 million.
4 million at least on YouTube. I don't know like how much people on Instagram and Vimeo and whatever and Facebook. Yes.
Sorry for fucking up the research. Millions at least.
I would love to have 10 million next year. So click.
But industrial dance,
yes,
that's something that lies close to your heart.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you, because I thought that it's so interesting that so many people love to hate this, and yet so many people seem to kind of like it without wanting to
admit it.
And it's something that catches people's attention.
Yes. It does.
Why do you think it's like? Well, maybe we should. If there is somebody watching this video right now that doesn't know what we are talking about, we'll put a clip in from earlier today. So let's start with why do you like it? How come you like it?
I just think it's like dancing is always about expressing yourself, and I always not always, but I started to like EBM and harsh electro and industrial music, and industrial dance is really kind of the dance that fits to this kind of music, and I've been always really enjoying dancing and expressing myself, and so I just fell in love with this dance, and it's really like you can really be yourself and let all the energy out, and that's why I enjoy it a lot.
So why do you think? Because it's kind of a small subcultural thing. There are not that many people who does this, but I don't know how many 100 or billion of views total all the industrial dance videos has on YouTube or Facebook or whatever. Why does this provoke people so much?
I think with any kind of dancing, you always have a lot more people watching that than actually people doing that. Like, I mean, there are so many twerk videos, and I mean, there's a small minority, not small, but there are not so many people who are twerking. And I mean, obviously, mostly men are watching twerk videos, probably, but they are not twerking themselves. Yeah. And I kind of feel like for industrial dance, that is the same. So, like, there are a lot of people enjoying watching the people dance, but there are not so many dancers. As to why it seems so controversial, I could say for me maybe because it's such a small subculture, there aren't so many dancers. So usually when you have a bigger group of like performing a certain thing, maybe that's a sport or a dance, then you usually have a higher top class, like more better people, because you just have a bigger pick of people. So I think with industrial dance, especially in the beginnings, there weren't so many really good dancers, but kind of like nearly everybody in the subculture started to upload YouTube videos, because I think we were so few that we somehow wanted to connect. So if you were the only industrial dancer from a small Pacific island, we had one, then the only way to connect with everybody else and show your dancing and asking to improve was to upload it somehow to the internet.
And then somehow this video caught attention and got millions of views.
Exactly. So I think there are really good industrial dance videos out on the internet, but I think like the ones that are mostly clicked are usually the older ones.
That's not as good.
That are not as good. They've been like, they are from the early days of the internet, and videos from the early days of the internet are mostly pretty bad.
Actually, why I think this is interesting, because there are a lot of things that provokes people, and some subcultures in general seem to be something that not everyone likes, and there are a lot of subcultures, but whatever, anything that breaks the norm of the normal society, those are things that might provoke people. But what's interesting about industrial, and maybe you could kind of say that it is part of the cyber goth subculture, or very, very close to connected to it, is, or no?
And I always like to see it. You have here like cybergoths, and then you have industrial dance, and then there is like this overlap where both subcultures meet in the middle. But not every cybergoth means is dancing industrial, and we have a lot of industrial dancers who identify more like with like riverhead clothing, maybe even with rave clothing. So I think they somehow meet in the middle, but it's not completely the same.
And yet, of course, but yet, and then this is also related to other subcultures, and why I think that this is so interesting is because both this kind of culture and the industrial dance and also cyber goth gets criticized both by mainstream culture, but also these subcultures are related to many other subcultures, like for example, to mention the bigger goth, super big umbrella of goth subculture,
black scene.
where in Germany you call it the black scene, the schwarze scene. I mean, the industrial dance have been super criticized from that side as well. I remember reading in the Wave Gothic Treffen Facebook group. That's a super huge festival where all kind of these cultures come together. That somebody wrote that, I don't know if it was cybergoths or industrial dancers, but somebody wrote that, oh, these people, they are the product of incest.
I think the most hate actually got cybergoth, and for me personally, like I joined the scene in general pretty late, but I always felt like cybergoth was something new. It was like the new people, the young people entering the scene, and I think a lot of older goths really didn't understand and didn't want to have like this new stuff to happen. And then there was like a lot of aggression against the cybergoth people, which actually then lead to a lot of the young people actually then leaving the scene again, which I find bad, because they were like the young people like that we needed. Everybody's complaining now that the goth scene is so old, but like back in 2011, when a lot of young people wanted to enter the goth scene in a different way than beforehand, then they got a lot of hate. And I know a couple of people who then decided not to be that anymore, because they just didn't want to be hated on the one side for being goth from the outside world, and on the other hand for being cyber goth from like within the scene. So they were attacked from both sides, and then they kind of left. And if you like look at the development, a lot of cyber goth people, if they get older, they kind of develop towards more traditional goth styles. So when they've been bright pink maybe in the beginning, which I don't like so much, like neon colors too much in cybergoth outfits. So usually mine are black with a bit of like color. But also myself, I tended towards more traditional goth styles, and I think the goth scene didn't do itself a favor by attacking the cybergoth so much as I did. And now I see like posts in the Wave Gothic Treffen forum like, oh, where are all these cybergoths gone? Like,
because you said they were not welcome.
Exactly. Like, now people feel kind of sad that it's gone. And
I think it's interesting, and sometimes people forget that there are actually, I mean, no matter depending on who you are, you need to treat people with respect. I totally think it's valid to debate whether or not, like, is cybergoth a part of the goth subculture. It's a valid point of arguing. It's totally okay to discuss the question, but you don't have to say that no matter what's the answer, they are people too.
Exactly. And I always felt like, especially with Gothic Treffen, like, it has been so far always a very welcoming festival. I mean, like, sometimes you see like furries there now, or like steampunk, maybe even cosplayers, where I would really debate that they don't really belong into the goth scene. Yeah. But then that is always like kind of a boundary, because I know people from the goth side who are cosplayers as well, and so I think it's always really difficult to just like draw the line and say you are not goth, because there's no goth committee saying like, here's your official document, you're goth now. I feel like in our scene it's been always people who felt like a certain way of living, maybe a certain connection to art, a certain like enjoying music, and everybody within the goth scene at one point had to say for themselves, yes, I think I'm goth, and then that's how you label yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to label it, you just have to enjoy it. I think that's enough to for me. The only thing that you have to do to be invited to our events that we have in this lovely little subculture is that you have to enjoy it and be respectful.
Yes.
And you can just be curious and go your first time and not like dress the fashion or not know anything, and just be curious to see what it is. I think as long as you are enjoying yourself and being respectful, I think that you should be welcome.
Yes, of course everybody should be welcome, but I still think every one of the goths at one point kind of decides for themselves, yes, I think I'm goth. So, I mean, for like some styles you could say maybe you're an emo as well or something, but I think it's really people who deciding, yes, I want to be a goth.
It's interesting. And I like what you're saying about all these cultures coming together and all the influences, and maybe I think that what people have been doing by being like trying to draw the line and like this is what the subculture is. I think that's about people trying to protect what they think the subculture is. But I think that what you're saying about Coalcandy Treffen, it's all these different influences coming together, but yet it is also like a place for people to meet and see new things and get inspired and maybe find something new that they like, and find new music that they like, because no matter what fashion or how people look when they go to Coalcandy Treffen, it is mainly about the music. No matter how many fashion events you put on that festival, it's still the music that is.
And meeting the family.
Yeah, of course. But it also moves around the music.
Yes.
If you took away all the music, I don't think there would be any way that the festival could still exist.
Yes, of course. But on the other hand, for me, like, I don't need to know which bands are playing.
No. I totally agree with you. You go for the music festival, but you enjoy meeting the people, and then you get some music
extra
while you're there. But it is still the music is what's keeping us all together.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. It's pretty fun to discuss these questions. Also, it's not that often that I get to do it.
Me neither.
There is also, let's go back to the industrial dance.
Yes.
There is an industrial dance community that you were talking about, like people connecting with dancing, and how do you think where do you think it all started, like the dancing and the music?
Like, I think industrial dance, nobody really knows where it comes from and where it's like where who put the label on it. It somewhere originated like in the 90s, like early 2000 in like kind of the goth club. It just started out as a club dance where people like really put a lot of energy into this. So and then at some point somebody must have labeled it industrial dance. Actually there's a
because it goes to industrial music.
Exactly, but the problem is that actually there's a second kind of industrial music. So this label is actually used for two things. Industrial music used to be also like music that is kind of like a lot of random noises and such.
Yeah.
So if you look for Wikipedia, if you look for industrial dance, then usually you will find this kind of music page which says like this kind of like really weird noisy music, but if you nowadays put industrial dance into YouTube, you will get industrial dance and the kind of the actual dance that doesn't really use the original industrial music. So somebody kind of fucked up the labels of it. Yes, but I think it's just originated like in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then it really became popular, or at least popular to the outside world around 2009, where the first industrial dance videos actually popped up on YouTube. Kind of at a peak around 2011, 2012. It declined, but I feel like it's actually rising, especially due to Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are true to the. I really need to go to Mexico someday and see what they are up to.
August Festival. I really want to.
It's so sad. It's so hard to get information about what's going on there if you don't speak any Spanish.
Exactly.
You need to know someone give you the information. Let's actually make the connection back to you again.
Yes.
So now we're talking about subcultures and industrial dance, but you found the subculture and the industrial dance quite late in your life.
Yes.
Right.
I was actually 21, so that is like probably super late for somebody joining the goth scene. Usually you discover that like in your teenager years. I think I always felt drawn towards the scene, but I never had like any peers, anybody I could like kind of relate to, see what like goth actually would be. Internet wasn't really there unless you had like really small like modem beep beep beep. So I actually found a friend when I started to study who was like already a goth, and then he was listening to his music, was like, you won't enjoy it, and like that's really not for you, because he always thought I was like super normal. And then he was going to an Ego Noise concert and was like, I want to listen to that music, and he gave it to me, and I fell absolutely in love with Ego Noise. And I went to this concert, and there were also, I think there were a couple other bands, maybe even XX, definitely Centron playing, but I didn't care about any other bands. I was just like, Ego Noise. And then there was even Umpra at Imago with their like live show there, and I just absolutely fell in love with this goth scene and been there ever since.
That's pretty interesting, because seeing Agonize as your first show is kind of taking a couple of steps into the subculture right away.
Jump directly.
Well, it's not the most easy start, I would say. But then you were caught, and since then you have been enjoying it.
Yes, a lot. Like I kind of was a baby bat maybe in the first year. So when I look at my first Wave Gothic traveling pictures, I was like, oh my god.
So we can conclude at least that it's not too late if you have passed your teenage years. Do whatever you love and feel.
Exactly.
Feel interested in. And we'll be saying hello there and welcome.
Definitely. I think goth doesn't really have an age. It's just like you fall in love with it and you stay with it. Especially when you look at Wave Gothic Travel, you even have like kindergarten there now, and you have like you can go to the theater. Like, I mean, I have friends who are like nearly 50 or even over 60, and like age doesn't really play a role. It's just like enjoy the scene and the music and the art, and then you're welcome. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. I like it too, a lot. So I think we need to start rounding up. But do you have anything that you think that you want to tell the world?
Oh, don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. Click on my videos so I get 10
yeah.
million 10 million views next year.
Yeah.
This year, 2019, 10 million views. No, but just have a nice 2019, and I'm looking forward to the festival this year a lot. Like,
we'll put a link to your channel and as well the video that we have been making earlier today. I can't wait to see how it's going to turn out.
Me neither. I'm really looking forward.
Thank you so much for talking to me about the subculture. Goth subculture, industrial dance, and everything related to that. Super cool! And now we're going to head out in the Berlin night. Pretty soon at least. Ciao!
Bye!